All right, for this next section of exponential and logarithmic equations, we're going to be looking at one, learning how to solve for the initial value. We're going to learn how to solve for the rate, and then we're going to do a little bit more comparing between two particular situations. So we're going to start by finding out how to find the initial value. So it says Nathan is going to invest in an account paying an interest rate at 4.8% compounded continuously. So there's my key phrase of compounded continuously. So that means we're going to use our formula. A of t equals our initial value, p sub 0, times e raised to kt or rt, whichever one you prefer. How much would Nathan need to invest to the nearest $10 for the value of the account to reach 1,310 in 13 years? So we have our rate or our k value. Now it says that he's investing, so we're going to grow here. So this is going to be positive. And once we divide that, this is going to turn into 0.048. Then we have the amount that we want to reach to. So this is my future value. And then we have our time as 13 years. So we're going to plug all of that in, and we're actually going to solve for the initial value, p sub 0. So we have 1310 equals, and we'll just leave that as p. If you want to write the 0, you can. E raised to k, which is going to be 0.048, and my time is 13. So again, we're going to be solving for p here. So this is a pretty easy situation because if p is being multiplied by e raised to these values, this whole piece right here is just a number. So if that's all just a number, if it's being multiplied, we can divide by the whole thing. And if we do it to one side, then of course we're going to do it to the other side. And then I could put it right into Desmos. So I'm going to go ahead and set my fraction up with a division symbol first. And remember, E you just get from the keyboard. And I'm going to raise that to parentheses 0.048 times 13. And we get that P is approximately, now it says round to the nearest $10. So $10 is going to be 2 decimal places. So I have 701.89. So we're actually going to be looking at the tens place, which is going to be that 0. The 1 is not going to round that up. So if you were putting your answer in, they would expect you to put in $700. All right, so very similar example, except for we're going to be using another formula for this one. It says Anthony is going to invest. So if we're investing, that means we're going to grow. And we're going to be compounding so that it is quarterly. So remember, our compound formula is going to be A of t equals p sub 0, 1 plus r over n raised to nt. All right, so we have our rate. And our rate here is going to be 0.027. Now, they want us to round it to the nearest $100 this time. So we want to reach $130 in 10 years. So this is going to be my future value, and this is going to be my time. So we have 130 equals, so we have our initial value that we don't know, 1 plus my rate, which is going to be 0.027, over my compound. Now my compound is going to be quarterly, so that's going to be 4. And then that's going to be 4 times 10 years. So again, just like in the last situation, in the last problem, we're solving for p. This entire piece right here is just a number. So if we're multiplying by that value, then we're going to divide by that whole value. And of course, if we do it to one side, we're going to do it to the other. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing over here. So I'm going to go put that right into Desmos, making sure to be very careful as I type this in because, you know, there's a lot of pieces that you could potentially make a mistake on. So 0.027 divided by 4. And on the outside of that, we're going to raise that to 4 times 10. We can go ahead and type 40. So we have P is approximately 99.3. Now it says round to the nearest $100. So my hundreds place is actually, we actually haven't even reached the hundreds place. So if we're talking about the hundreds place right here will be 0. Okay, so we're actually going to round this up to 1 because we're looking at the hundreds place right here. So that 9 is going to round that up to 100. So P is approximately $100 in initial value.